So we're back, episode 2 of Sugar Talk. How are we feeling?
Oh, we're feeling great. Lots to tackle in this episode.
Yes, pretty successful first episode. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope you stick with us as we continue to grow this podcast.
All right. Well, let's start off hot. 23-24 Lions, Rams.
Yes.
What went wrong for the Rams? How'd they lose? My pick?
I don't know. Towards the end, they just weren't moving the ball. And honestly, they should have won that game. Detroit, you cannot score 3 points in the second half and just not. It's not going to work. You got lucky. They did get lucky, but you do that this week, I think that's gonna cost you for sure.
It's just it was a tough game to watch because Matthew Stafford was outperforming Goff by quite a bit.
For sure. I feel like the Rams as a whole were. Their receivers like Puka Nacua had a really good game. I think the Lions got lucky. I hope they don't do that this week. I'd like to see them win. But it's a possibility Buccaneers could beat them. Obviously, I'm going too far, but the Lions got lucky, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even the Rams even outperformed them defensively. They got 3 sacks compared to the Lions' 2 sacks. They just it's tough to see a team like that because when you think they should win the game and you see the way they performed, because I wanted them to win that last game. I wanted to see Stafford beat the Lions.
Well, obviously we went. I don't know. We didn't mention this yet, but I won. On the picks 4-3.
You did. You did.
I predicted the Packers and I predicted Tampa Bay. Come on.
You got it. You won 3-2. I got the AFC right. You got the NFC right.
Once you went Saturday night, once you went 0-2, we went 2-0 on me. I'm like, damn it, I'm screwed. But then I came back, But I think in regards to the Lions State game, I think the better team did win. I think the Lions are a better team. But they had no offensive production in that second half. And as you go deeper into the playoffs, you can't have that. I mean, Tampa Bay, they're a solid team. I think it could cost you. But if you make it past them, say you're playing the Niners, you score 3 points in the second half, you're done. That's for sure. That Niners team's filthy, so you really would get a lot of points put up on you. Especially Detroit's defense doesn't have a good history. They're known to give up points and yards, so that's risky.
Yeah, just going into especially after that second half, I can't see that offense outperforming any other team in these playoffs. Maybe the Bucks. Obviously, that's the other team you liked.
The Bucks look good. I really can't.
I like the Bucks way more than the Lions, honestly.
This week? I don't know. I'm still going to take the Lions, I think.
The Lions are a good pick, but I don't know. I can't see past their – I don't like their offensive scheme. I never have.
You don't?
Honestly, I never did. And the Bucks defense is ramping up.
They get hot in the playoffs. They do. They get hot in the playoffs.
But, there's our Lions-Rams game. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people did hit the nail on the head with the Bills-Steelers game. Not much to talk about there.
Yeah. I mean, I got to give it to the Steelers. They put up a good fight for what they had. But the Bills look dangerous, man. Josh Allen looked really good. James Cook looked really good. Stephon Diggs was quiet. The tight ends, Knox and Kincaid, looked really strong for Buffalo. That defense was looking really good too. That team, Buffalo as a whole, looked really good. I think they're gonna go pretty far this year in the playoffs. I really do. It's gonna be tough to beat that team.
Yeah, when we get into our Super Bowl predictions and our divisional predictions,
we'll go over all that. Yeah,
we're gonna really tackle into that. But not much to talk about there. James Cook, 18 carries, 79 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. Definitely a game changer there.
I'm a little upset with him. I played the higher 82.5, so he kind of screwed me there, but still a good game.
3 yards off.
3 yards, so I'm a little salty about that, but he still had a really good game.
But that game you got to give to Josh Allen.
Yeah,
He also had eight.
he
He
looked
had 9.2
amazing.
yards per carry too. 74 yards,
Yeah.
8 carries.
I mean, he had that big touchdown run for like 50 something yards. I mean, that's a big play in the playoffs.
3
You don't
passing
see a lot of
touchdowns
big
too.
plays like that. 3 passing touchdowns, 2 were to tight ends, too.
Yep. So yeah, that's really, unless you got more to add on to that game, I think the Steelers just
That
got outperformed.
that game kind of speaks for itself. Yeah. Did you see Mike Tomlin walking off the stand when they were like,
I
"Are you coming
did.
back next year?" He walked right
Yeah,
off.
it's
I was
just
like,
like-
"Ouch!" And then they're like, "He's coming back." I'm like, "What? Like, why would you
As
walk off like that?" Then I don't get that.
honestly, I would do the same thing because it's just like they're just trying to stir
Stupid
up so
questions.
much drama.
Well, but then again, you can't really get mad at the media because that's their job.
Oh,
If
that's
they
what
didn't,
they're
if they
supposed
didn't
to
have
do.
takes like that, like, oh, Mike Tomlin might not come back, they have nothing to do. What are you paying them for? So you can't really get mad. The coaches do, which they get aggravated, like this is a stupid question, and the players, but that's their job. You have to ask a question. You have to have a hot take. You have to, you know what I'm saying? That's their whole
I mean
job.
that press conference probably got way more views than it did if it was just a run of the mill like,
I bet
oh, you
you-
guys did good this week.
I bet you that press conference got more views than the game.
It
It was
genuinely
such a
might
blowout.
have.
It probably, everybody was like, oh, God.
All right. Well, let's jump into this next game. I know you're excited to talk about this one. We got Chiefs 26 to Dolphins 7.
I took the Dolphins. Boy, was I wrong.
Well, I had that advantage of they came out
Yeah.
a few days later saying it's going to be negative 30 degrees real feel. That's quite the advantage.
That's cold to play in. It really is. But I got a lot of thoughts on this game. I think Tua stunk.
Oh my God,
I
20
really
for
do.
39,
He 20. I got it right here.
199 yards.
Exactly. 1 touchdown, interception. You're not winning a playoff game like that. You're just not. Tyreek Hill, I said he was going to win that game for them, and he went for 5 receptions, 62 yards, and a touchdown. You're not going to win a game like that. You know,
Not at
even
all.
Mostert had a great year. He comes in 8 carries, 33 yards. That's it. Why does Mostert only have 8 carries?
Well, yeah, the running back should have completely controlled that game.
They
And
should have.
You give
They did it all
Devon
season
Achane the
long.
ball 6 times and Raheem Mostert the ball 8 times.
But exactly. What are we doing here? A total of 14 carries between 2 running backs. What are we doing here?
I understand
These running
that
backs gave-
Chiefs' defensive line is unbelievable, but you can't. Those are your game changers, especially in the conditions of the game. You can't.
Exactly.
14 carries combined.
Exactly. And that's the best defense Mahomes has had so far in his career. But it's like, if you have these running backs, they've produced well all season, and you're not pounding the ground game, what are you doing? Tyreek Hill is obviously not working out. He's obviously covered. So you're getting pinched.
And
And
your quarterback has clearly shown an inability to throw the football in those
terrible.
conditions.
He's terrible. He can't throw a ball in any conditions. I'm sorry. But and on the other side of the ball, you have Mahomes, 23 of 41, which is okay of a completion percentage. I mean, I'm not pleased with that.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
that's
good
not
enough.
that much better. But
262 yards and a touchdown. Now, is it a perfect stat line? No, it's all right. But there's no interceptions. You don't see a mistake there. You know what I'm saying? And you had Rashid Rice, who had a great game. He had 8 receptions for 130 yards and a touchdown.
he was their game changer.
That's what wins you games. If Tyreek Hill had a stat line like that, that wins that game.
This is
I mean,
the
obviously that was
Dolphins
a
that
blowout.
game.
That was such a blowout.
The Dolphins couldn't get any pressure on Mahomes.
No,
whatsoever.
That defense is
all.
falling apart.
Yep.
Defense
Remember what I was telling
falls
you?
apart.
They can't. Last week I mentioned they can't play from behind. They can't do
No.
it. That team.
They can't. They
At
can't.
all.
You were right about that. They cannot. They get down on themselves. I mean,
They
26
just you
to
see their
7.
energy. The whole team.
It looked like
They're just
it looked
slumped,
like they gave up. It looks
walking
like
around the field.
you know.
Yeah.
And now there's a lot of question marks here I have on my notepad. As you see what goes on here. I mean, Tua's up for an extension, right? Are you signing him to an extension? I heard it's going to be 40 plus mil a year. I'm not giving him that kind of money. What have you done? Nothing.
No,
You went to the
not at
playoffs
all.
back-to-back years. You lost this past year 26-7. You lost the year before to the Bills 34-31. Obviously, that was a closer game, but the Bills weren't that good last year. They had a tough year. In my opinion, they didn't look that good in the playoffs. So now here's my thought. If you're going to think he's going to be a long-term answer, which I don't think he is, does that cause Mike McDaniel to get fired? Right? Because if you're not producing, it's usually the head coach's fault. But really, it could be Tua's fault for giving him that extension because he's not the guy.
I think that they definitely won't fire McDaniels because think about how productive that offense was. I mean, it broke a couple records this year. But
Yeah.
in regards to Tua, I absolutely think that they should look for another option. Think about what he's surrounded with. I understand he's had a very banged up O-line this year, but
yeah, they were just that O-line was terrible.
That's no excuse.
Couldn't stop nothing.
Just like you got to be able to. You have really talented group of guys around you. You got to be able to.
Yeah, you got to be able to
more than
score
one
points
team
than 7
that's above 500.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Patriots beat more teams over 500.
Yeah.
My analysis of that game, I think Tua is the left-handed Dak Prescott. I really do. They ball out in the regular season. Oh, this is the year. They come to the playoffs, they disappear. You know, they're not game changers. They're really not.
Dolphins could be the new Cowboys of the AFC.
The Dolphins are the new Cowboys. The Cowboys fans, this is our year, and then goodbye.
Yep. I have a couple Dolphins fans down in Florida that I met, and I gotta say I heard them say this is our year a few times.
How'd that work out for them?
Oh,
but
not great.
I've also heard trust the process. The Dolphins are getting better. Last year they were 9-8. This year 11-6. Do they take another step next year? I don't know. I think they're going to regress. They have a lot of free agents on the market. Christian Wilkinson is a big name. Their defensive lineman. You lose him. I heard he's gone. I don't know. But you lose that. It's a big piece. They have a lot of injuries. It's just I think that team takes a step back.
I think that if you can – because there's a lot of energy on that team. They all like playing with each other. They all like Mike McDaniels. If they all want to stay and you can draft some good old linemen, I can see a future for that team for sure with Tua.
Yeah.
But if the team is going to fall apart in free agency, I think you need to look the other way for a quarterback and not give him those big bucks.
But they're in a tough position to do that. They're lower in the draft. I mean, you could probably get a Michael Penix or a Bo Nix. I'd say that's your best options. But are those guys an upgrade over Tua?
No, hear me out.
I don't know.
Do you sign a guy like Kirk Cousins for $25 million instead of $40 million?
Not to Miami. I'm hearing Kirk to the Denver Broncos.
I heard Kirk wherever Belichick goes. You see that? Been seeing that everywhere.
I can see that. I mean, I said Bill to Atlanta. It's looking real.
I can see them. It is starting to look very real.
It's looking real. Second interview this weekend. The Falcons owner is flying Bill out on his private jet. I mean, come on. I predicted this shit.
Did you hear Bill say he wants to go to a small market team? I thought that was pretty interesting.
I didn't hear that. No.
Yeah, no, I heard that somewhere. And if that's true, I mean, I can't remember if Atlanta's too small market, but I don't think
know.
they are.
I don't know off the top of my head. But
that seems like they're definitely the top candidate for now. And now that the Cowboys went out and said they're gonna rehire McCarthy, I think that Atlanta is.
We'll touch upon.
We gotta talk. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But that's really all I have to say. I still don't think. I think the Chiefs played good. I thought the defense looked really good. Do they get past Buffalo? You know, we'll see. Talk about it later.
All right.
I'm not trying to spoil everything.
Next game that we will mention is the absolute pounding that the Houston Texans gave to the Cleveland Browns.
Boy.
I thought the Texans were going to win, but I didn't know they were going to.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Flacco's arthritis started kicking in that game.
He got a little too used to the couch.
A little too used. 34 for 46. Not too bad.
No, it wasn't. He had 300 yards. Actually, I got it right here.
It's just 2 pick sixes.
But Stroud had a perfect game.
Oh my!
He had 157 passer rating. I mean, come on.
16 for 21, 3 touchdowns.
He only threw 21 passes. Like, you believe that? 274 yards and 3 touchdowns. No mistakes, no interceptions. 21 passes. That's amazing. He played great.
Oh my God, yeah.
Hats off to the Texans, honestly. But the Browns, I'm looking at Joe Flacco's stats right in front of me. Aside from the 2 interceptions, which turned into pick sixes, he didn't have a bad game.
It wasn't a bad game,
You know,
but
that offensive
you
line,
can't do that in the playoff.
Cleveland's offensive line and their defense are top, highly rated throughout the NFL. They
Flacco didn't
disappeared.
get. Oh wait, here
He got killed. He was getting pressured every time.
Yeah, he had
That offensive line disappeared.
Yeah, there were four.
The defense disappeared. I mean, take away the 2 mistakes. I mean, and the 2 interceptions. I watched them. He was getting pressured, and he just threw the ball, and it got picked. So that's an O-line problem. Obviously, he should have took the sack, held on to the ball. Now you're talking 31-15, or 14. It's a closer game, 15-point game instead of whatever the hell
completely flips it.
Completely different game. But I have to blame that on the defense and the offensive line. I really can't attack Flacco. I'm looking, aside from the 2 interceptions, he had a good game.
He did. And on the other side of the ball, the Browns defense, Myles Garrett, that defensive front,
disappeared.
They did
nothing.
Disappeared.
Nothing. Gone.
No sacks.
Bye-bye. Gone. It was shameful. Top defense in the league all year, and then you're gone. What are we doing here? It's terrible.
That Texans O-line, they know how to – they built that team for C.J. Stroud, and it is perfect.
Team looked amazing. It really did. And they're playing the Ravens, who have a bad history in the playoffs. At least
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about that game.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers the Browns.
Yeah, that's another game. It's like speaks for itself. It's a blowout. A few comments on it. That's really it.
All right, next game. And then this is where this is unfortunately the game where I got the nice text from you saying you won the bets.
But, I don't think you texted back either.
No, I don't think I did. I was like, it's time to go to bed.
No. I was like, all right, he's not feeling it today. I'll bother him tomorrow.
All righty. We have the Eagles Buccaneers. What went wrong?
What did I tell you? What went wrong? It went right for me. I picked the Buccaneers.
I mean, right for you.
The Eagles just look terrible. They look slow.
Lazy.
Missing
lazy
AJ Brown. Lazy. Terrible. Defense looked awful. Buccaneers straight up outplayed them. They looked really good. Honestly, Baker Mayfield had a game. The whole team just clicked, I feel like. They really pulled it together. And they just looked good. They made more plays. That was it. They came out the gates firing. They were up 10-0, I believe it was. And
they're up 10-0 in the first quarter.
They held that lead. They kept it, and that was it. Game over.
Yeah, I know. Here's the interesting thing. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, their 2 best receivers, were not the game changers of that game.
Yeah, they weren't. The running back looked good. Rashad White. Yeah, Rashad White. I'm sorry.
Did really good. But here's the thing that I like about that Buccaneers offense. So that Eagles defense shut down their 2 best receivers, and they used every player of that offense.
Which I'm surprised because James Bradbury and Darius Slayton have been playing terrible.
Horrible
ball. Philadelphia, look at the tackling. They had terrible tackling. You're not going to do that in a playoff game. I'm sorry. That's not getting you anywhere. You're going to lose. Tampa Bay, they knew they were underdogs. You could see they felt that underdog spirit, They came in, they attacked.
Yep. They did. And boy, was I wrong. I thought that Eagles team was going to get a fire lit under their butts.
I told you.
Nope, they didn't.
That was one of my underdog predictions.
Yeah, and you hit that one on the nail.
I did.
But what's next for the Eagles? I mean, they've been pretty plagued with injuries, but even with an injured team, they just looked like they were playing for nothing. It's hard to explain.
I think what killed them was the coordinator change. They lost their 2 coordinators who were really good. They went and got head coaching jobs, and they just replaced them with mediocre talent. Do you know who their defensive coordinator is?
I have no idea.
Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia? Really?
Well, it was another guy, and then they fired him, and they made Matt Patricia the guy for the past couple weeks. But wasn't he coaching offense Wasn't he an offensive coordinator last year?
Offensive coordinator,
for the
and
Patriots?
very underrated offensive coordinator for sure. No, I'm just kidding.
He was definitely better than Bill O'Brien, but that's a whole nother problem.
Oh boy,
That's a whole nother topic. But
maybe on
they
our
just didn't
Patriot
fill
special.
Patriot special, maybe. They just didn't fill the shoes with their new coordinators with the hirings. They just weren't good, and that killed them. And I think it really hurt Jalen Hurts. He regressed this season, obviously. He's dealt with a couple injuries, but still, they look terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Kelsey retiring, that's a huge piece of that offense. Not just
No,
for
he's not
talent.
retired yet. He's not retired
he's
yet.
not?
Nope.
Seemed like he was done.
Yeah, no, there was a clip on his podcast with his brother. He said that he has not made the decision yet. He was just talking to some teammates, and it got out.
Oh, I thought I saw a bunch of retirement stuff. Like,
yeah, it was all everything jumped the gun. Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
He hasn't made the decision yet. I'm assuming he's going to retire. I would say about 95% he's going to retire, but he could come back. You never know. He's still playing at a high level.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He's still one of the best centers
Hall of
in the league.
Famer. Hall of Famer for sure.
But without him on that team, it's not just a talent hole, it's an energy hole too. I feel like he's just the dad of that team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if he doesn't return,
that team's gonna look flat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, really not much to say. You know, when you get outplayed like that.
And this game, I can't wait to hear you talk about. Your boys, your team that you see running, the Green Bay Packers, absolutely smacked the Cowboys 48-32.
You thought I was crazy. You thought I was crazy.
Like, there's no way Jordan Love in his first years as a starter would
come on
and do what he did. He's basically the same numbers as CJ Stroud, 16 for 21, 272,
the exact same
touchdowns.
Numbers. Yeah, they had the exact same numbers. The only thing that was different was the yards by 2 yards. So,
but can we talk about Aaron Jones?
What a game, man!
Oh
what
my God!
How about the Dallas defense? Everybody was saying, "Oh, Dallas defense is fantastic." This and that. They couldn't stop Aaron Jones to save their life.
No, they couldn't get any pressure on him.
They could not get any pressure on him. They couldn't stop him. Jordan Love had time to throw all day. He could throw all day. You know.
Do you think Parsons being out for most of the game influenced that? But even when he was in the game, it seemed like he wasn't doing too much. But he got injured late first quarter.
All he did when he was in the game was get a couple holding calls on the Packers tackle. So I didn't see him much as a game changer.
I mean, that's usually how he influences a lot. But I do see I'm looking at that Dallas defense stats, and it's just bland. No turnovers.
They did nothing. The Packers had a pick six. They had 2 picks, actually. One was returned for a touchdown. But yeah, that's just you can't. You're not going to win a game. But what else do I expect from Dallas? Nothing. I don't expect anything more. Dak had a good stat line. Obviously, he played well.
That's because I
feel
like
didn't score points. They did not score points.
His stat line looks good. 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. But that's, the Packers were absolutely just blowing them out of the water.
Oh, for sure.
So, they laid off the gas. And Dak also threw 60 times.
Yeah, come on. That's bad. I know it's a playoff game, but he must have been sore after.
It's just Pollard did nothing.
Pollard did
15 carries, 56 yards. He had a touchdown.
Pollard
Was, 1 yard line, punch it in, 3 yard line, whatever it was.
Pollard hasn't done anything as his first year as the full RB1 in Dallas. Very disappointing. He had that really good year before, and now it was just very disappointing.
Yeah.
He was taken so high in fantasy too. Fantasy drafts, everyone was taking him high, and just disappointing. But I felt like that would allow players in fantasy. Obviously, that's a whole nother thing we could touch upon. But I feel like teams were just not performing. My team had a lot of good players, just didn't perform. That's why I still came in 4th in our league. Okay,
yeah, not too bad. I'm not going to talk about it. This was a rebuilding year for me. This is a rebuilding year for me for sure.
Ouch. Usually we're always competing in the playoffs. You didn't make it with me this year.
I didn't make it. We'll have our week 1 battles.
Yeah, every week 1 we always play each other. It's so funny. I always win too.
Hey, well, you know what? We didn't need to mention that here on the
Sorry,
podcast.
come on. I had to. Slipped. My bad.
Alrighty. Well, let's just, now that we're talking about the Packers, let's roll right into it. Who are they facing? Do they have the Niners coming up?
Niners. Yes, they do.
Alrighty. We're going to go with our 9.5 point spread over under 50.5. What are we thinking?
I'm not touching either or. Honestly, with playoff games, I've learned my lesson. I stay away from the betting.
Yeah.
I didn't bet on any this past weekend, but at least over unders and spreads. But I bet you Green Bay covers that. I mean, not Green Bay. I'm sorry. San Francisco covers that.
Oh, you have your boys losing.
I do. I don't think they can beat the Niners. The Niners are just too good. They're too strong. I would take the over too. I bet you San Fran hits the gas. They have a week off. Stuff like that.
If the Packers want to play this game, they absolutely have to play from ahead.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
if that Niners team gets to Jordan Love early and applies pressure on him, he's just going to crumble. He's a young quarterback.
That's the thing.
And that's such a scary defense for somebody like that coming in.
Yeah, it is. That defense makes a lot of plays. They're definitely going to confuse him. The way the safeties are, the coverage is going to be confusing for him. So we'll see. I'm taking the Niners personally. I don't foresee Green Bay getting past that. If they do, good for them. Happy for them. I'm not rooting against them. I'm just being logical here. I think the Niners pull this one out.
Unfortunately, I feel like in these divisional rounds, we're not going to have too much different team bets here. But
yeah,
I'm going to take the Niners.
I have an upset. I do have one upset. I don't know if you'll agree on. You'll like it, but I don't know if you'll agree on.
Well, I got a feeling I might have the same upset too. But
oh God, Texans.
yeah. But
I'll take the Texans.
I'm still thinking about that one. We'll dig into that in a bit. But yeah, definitely. Hear me out. Remember me saying this. If the Packers can get off to at least a touchdown, maybe a touchdown, a field goal, maybe a 10-point lead, I think they can absolutely command that game from ahead. If pressure early is going to be the big factor there.
Even if they're behind, if they're going back and forth, like field goal here, field goal there, touchdown, like you know what I'm saying. If they're matching San Francisco's energy, they can pull it out. I think they are a good team. That defense is very underrated. It's just I don't know if it goes that way. I think San Fran is a really tough team. That's a tough team to play.
Absolutely. So I'm going to take San Francisco, but if they can get off early to an early lead and protect Jordan Love.
Just to stick with my boys, I'll take Green Bay.
You take Green Bay?
I'll take Green Bay.
I respect
just
it.
To stick with them. They did me well last weekend. Praying they pull out again.
I like it.
So I'll take Green Bay.
Okay, next game to talk about. This one game I want to save for the end, of course. But let's get into the let's keep Lions Bucks. What are we thinking? Both of your teams that you got. So this is a tough game for me to bet on. Both your teams.
It's tough for me to take too.
Detroit is the 6.5 point favorites.
That's a lot for it. That's
spread.
a lot. That's a lot. That's a high line for a team that only put up 3 points in the second half.
And over under I think 50 or 49
at home. 40. No, it's at 50.
Oh, it's at 50 now. CBS has 49. I know my team.
I'm gonna stick with Detroit. I think they pull it out. I really do. I don't think they're gonna lose that game. I don't think they're gonna let Tampa Bay stroll in and beat them. Only problem I see here, the game is on Peacock. It says NBC and Peacock.
We're gonna talk about this later, and we're really gonna get into this.
I got some thoughts on that.
Me too.
But yeah, I'm sticking with Detroit. I am.
I'm gonna go the Buccaneers. You know, Detroit's gonna be a tough team to beat. So Detroit's home field, and that's gonna be roaring. That's going to be a high energy
Yeah.
stadium.
Did you see the ticket
And-
sales?
Oh my God. What was it?
It's like $1,400
Yeah.
for a ticket. It's crazy.
But if
yeah.
the Buccaneers defense can completely lock up that play action,
Yeah,
like if they can eliminate that dynamic Lions offense somehow, and that would be by just first off taking out the run game. You know, Montgomery, Gibbs.
There's multiple ways to that. There's multiple things you have to do. You got to take out the running backs. You have to take out the receivers, and you have to make Jared Goff struggle. You really do. You have to confuse
pressure
him.
on Goff.
You really do.
Absolutely.
Pressure.
He's
Pressure
never
on
looked
Goff. He'll fold.
great when he is. That Detroit O-line has been unbelievable this year. But
yeah,
in the past, he hasn't looked phenomenal. He's always been surrounded by really good O-lines.
I think he's looked better. I've seen him under pressure this year, and I do think he is getting better at it. He's developing a better skill with it. But you get enough pressure on him, he'll fold. He'll crack under pressure, I think. But yeah, I'm still sticking with Detroit. I think they'll pull it together.
I like Flores this year. He's been coaching a really good team. I think he's going to figure out a way to get through to that O-line. I mean, they have a pretty good – that Tampa Bay
you
defense,
like who this year?
love it. Brian Flores.
Brian Flores.
Isn't he the coach of the Tampa Bay
No,
Buccaneers?
Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh.
Todd Bowles is the coach.
Todd Bowles. That's what I meant to say.
Brian Flores.
I got it confused.
Oh, that was
Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is who I meant to say. Excuse
you sure
that
it wasn't
mistake.
Brian Flores?
I don't know where that one came from.
Oh my god, I don't know either.
Well,
You reliving Patriots memories? Back when he was the DC, we were winning Super Bowls.
Well, Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles, there you go.
I like him this year, not Brian Flores.
Did you see his press conference? And the reporter was like, "What are your thoughts about playing in the cold?" And he's like, "Inside."
Inside.
I died at that. I was like, "That's so funny." His reaction.
You couldn't help but crack a laugh.
He's like, "We're inside." I was just like, "Oh, what an idiot, bro! How do you ask that question?"
Oh my god, that's funny. But
So stupid.
I'm going with the Bucks. My guy Brian Flores. You know, coming out here.
Yeah, right. At least you're sticking with it. Yeah. All right. You take Bucks. You're taking Bucks. I'm taking the Lions. Chiefs, Bills.
Alrighty.
What do you think?
Okay. Well, I think the Bills have more than one bone to pick with this Chiefs team.
For sure.
You know, I think Josh Allen really wants to beat him, especially after their last matchup with Mahomes being a little crybaby.
I hope for Josh Allen's sake there's no overtime.
Yes. Yes,
but yeah,
that would be.
If I'm Josh, I have a picture of Mahomes' face in my locker with one of those little funny evil mustaches on it, you know. The way he acted, the game they played was terrible.
Childish.
It
Completely
made me sick. That's disgusting. You can't even go up and respectfully say good game. That's a terrible call. He was yelling, swearing.
You can barely look at him in the eyes.
They're holding him back on the side. Like Josh looked like, what? Josh was so confused. You don't do that. Even the way Andy Reid acted, they both got fined. I like that. I'm glad the NFL did that. I would have maybe liked a 1-game suspension on Mahomes. Just the way he acted, he was throwing stuff, he's yelling, swearing. It's caught on camera. It's getting posted online. That doesn't look good for him. It don't look good for the NFL. That's why
I think if you're going to want to be considered as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and at least this generation,
he's not.
At least this generation,
sure.
You can't do that at all. Like
No,
you have to.
It's disgusting.
You have to represent it. No matter what, the NFL is a game of sportsmanship. Every sport is. And at the end of a game, since we've been kids, we've been playing sports. What do we do after every single game? We shake hands with the other team.
You go say good game. You line up and you say good game. You know?
And that should be brought throughout everything. No matter how old is he? However old he is.
27,
28, whatever it is. You're not 8 years old. Like, come on, man.
You're not
You
Jesus,
say good game
okay?
at the end of the
Come
game.
on.
Yeah.
Like,
and they've had
terrible.
plenty of calls go their way. I'm not going to get into that.
Oh, my God. Oh, don't get me started on that, please. Please don't. Please.
Oh, my God. I just got flashbacks to the N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, my God. It was such a terrible call.
It was awful.
let's not get into that. That's a whole nother
But
story.
yeah, but we
All right.
got Buffalo
Your game
2.5
of the
point
week.
favorites.
Oh, we're still on
Real
that
quick,
game. I
real
forgot. We're still on that game.
we got a little into
Um,
that Mahomes rant.
oh my god. I'm taking the Bills. They look
Yeah,
too good. They look very well rounded. It's in Buffalo. I think they beat Chiefs. I really do.
me too. I'm gonna completely agree with this one.
I think they shut that offense right down. Double team Kelsey, take Rashid Rice out of the game, and they're done.
Yeah,
They're done.
I think that everybody's been hyping him up a lot, but
He
I
looked
don't
really
think
good. He really
I think
did.
he's good because his
He had a
offense
good
opens
game.
up a lot of opportunities for him. But he runs
Yeah.
hard. He's a hard
He
runner.
did. He looked good against the Dolphins. I got to give him that. I forgot to mention that when we were talking about that game. But he had a really good game as well. But I just think Buffalo's too dynamic. They look good on all sides of the ball. They're scoring, making plays. Defense is stopping, making stops. I think Buffalo wins that right out.
All right. Well, let's get into it. The game of the week, in my opinion.
Mine too.
Everybody's going to say Bills,
I
Chiefs,
agree.
but honestly,
it's really. I think they're all really good games. I really do think they all have potential to be good games. It's just a matter of, is it going to be blowouts? I hope there's not a lot of blowouts like there was during the wildcard weekend. I like a little more competitiveness, but
absolutely, I agree.
I think you have a better slate of games as the playoffs continue because it gets tighter, better teams. You know what I'm saying? Teams are better. Like when you get teams like the Steelers in there, I mean, come on, what do you expect? You know?
Alrighty. Well, we have Texans versus Ravens with Baltimore 9.5 point favorites.
That's high.
That's a high.
That's a high
spread for a team that just put up
for 45
the points they did.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm taking Houston in this game. They played really well, very well rounded. They were getting pressure. They were scoring, making plays. Lamar Jackson has a terrible history in the playoffs. He freezes up. Whatever happens to him, I don't know. I really do think the Texans can pull this one out. Obviously, they played each other this year, and it wasn't pretty. Week 1, the Ravens beat the Texans 25-9. In Baltimore, obviously that's the first week of the season. New head coach, new quarterback, new receivers, everything. So I'm not going to take that into account. But I really do think the Texans can win this game.
They absolutely can. But there's one game changer that I think really opens up that Ravens offense. Is Mark Andrews back?
He is.
I think he's
They
back.
said he's looking good in practice. Yeah,
if he does,
forgot about that.
That really opens up that Ravens offense. And look what Lamar's been doing with who he has. I mean, Zay Flowers is doing great this year.
OBJ,
he's playing.
He's playing.
Don't get me started on Aguilar. You know how I feel about him.
Why? He's having a better year than he did with the 2 years at the Patriots.
Oh, he is absolutely.
You still don't like that contract?
It makes me angry. Oh my god.
You still didn't like that 2-year? What was it? $24 million contract.
He sucks.
No, he doesn't.
I can't forget him coming across the field, Patriots versus Cowboys, and just dropping that pass. That would have changed the game.
Oh, we were at that game.
That
was a great game.
All right, we're not going to get into that either. But
that was a great game.
But I'm going to take the Ravens. But I think that I think it's going to be a really good game. I think I would never put a bet on the over for the 9.5 points.
I wouldn't. I'm not touching any of these games anyway.
Oh yeah, no,
maybe some player props, but that's about it. Yeah, these games are going to be too close.
But yeah, I can't wait to watch that game. It's going to be
very exciting.
How's that Ravens defense been playing this year?
Fantastic. They've looked fantastic this year. Playing really good ball.
I think it's going to be. I hope it's going to be.
They were out their corner though. I think Humphrey, he's out.
Oh really?
I do believe so. Yeah.
That's what I love about the Texans. It's not like, he has good receivers, Shroud, but it's not like they're stars. He just knows how to use. What is it? Nico Collins obviously is going to be.
Nico Collins had a game, but you also have to remember they're missing Tank Dell. who went down with that foot injury. You
That's
got
what I
Tank
mean.
Dell.
So
It's a really different game.
100%. But I'm going to take
It's a different
the Ravens
offense
in this game for sure.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Texans. I think they can pull it out. I really do.
I like that. But yeah, I mean, this is how I saw C.J. Stroud's season going, and in the divisional
I
round.
didn't. I really didn't. I really didn't think it would get to the playoffs. They didn't look good at the beginning.
I would say like midway through. I made
midway through he started the
subtle
ball.
thought.
He started to play really good. But yeah,
Awesome. Well, those are your
that's the
divisional round picks. But and this is a little far in the future, but not really. Super Bowl predictions. I'd say let's do two each. How do we sound? How do we like that?
All right, I like it. I like that.
A lot of different matchups that'll be really entertaining. Obviously, the most entertaining, in my opinion, would be Bills Lions. Those two fan bases.
Bills Lions.
So
wow.
amped. Just because of what it would mean for the football community.
I would love to see that. Both those teams don't have a Super Bowl. There's too many teams. There's so many teams with multiple Super Bowls. I would like to see one of those teams get a Lombardi for sure.
Absolutely.
But I don't think we're gonna get that matchup. I don't.
So I would love to see it, but I think that we are going to see this is pretty popular opinion, but Bills Niners Super Bowl.
For me, I think it's Ravens Niners. Ravens Niners. If they get past the Texans, if not, I would say Bills Niners. I really could see Bills Lions though, because
I would love to see it.
If Green Bay comes out firing and they beat San Francisco, which I wouldn't be totally surprised, I think I could see the Lions have an easy path. Because then what? You got to beat Green Bay, who they beat. I
think that if Green Bay can take out the Niners and Detroit gets past the Bucs, whatever, I can't see Baker in the Super Bowl. I don't see him winning against the Packers or the Niners, honestly.
I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't be. I
honestly would love to see that, though.
If any one of these teams got to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'm done with the Chiefs.
No, I don't want to see them.
Forget the Chiefs. I don't want to see them. Only team I don't want to see them.
I don't think they're going to make it, though. They won't make it past the Texans,
so
Bills. Either one of those. Or, I mean, they're facing the Bills now. I don't think they're going to make it past them.
Yeah, I don't either. But any other of these teams, I wouldn't be totally shocked to see in the Super Bowl. I think they're all very good teams. I think it's all going to come down to whoever makes more plays in the last seconds.
So just for the spice of it, you know what I'm going to go to? Super Bowl prediction that might not make too much sense, but this is just going to be one of those because it goes against my other picks. But I would love to see this, and it would be cool. Texans
Packers.
You got it.
Why did I have a feeling? That came to mind.
Think about two young quarterbacks battling it out on the field. That'll be so good for the NFL too. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, for sure.
We don't have these just teams going in year after year like the Chiefs, the Bills, the Niners. These super teams that are just boom, 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 boom.
I don't think the Chiefs that much of a super team though.
But it's just they've been so dominant over the past few years.
Yeah, I guess they've been beaten. I think they're beatable.
They're definitely a beatable team. Absolutely.
I don't think they're a dynasty. They're not a dynasty.
Not yet. If they win a Super Bowl this year, I think they absolutely are.
Yeah. If they win this year, yes, but I don't think they are as of now.
All right. So other than the Niners Ravens, what's your second pick?
Bills Lions.
I like it. No, I can. That's what I love about these playoffs. Each one of these teams I see in here could absolutely run away with it. Other than
it's
I don't want to say other than because then I'm gonna look like
a
real idiot if the Bucs win it. But I don't see the Bucs win the Super Bowl this year.
No, the Bucs aren't winning the Super Bowl. I would love to see that. It'd be funny, but I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl.
Baker Cinderella story. That would be amazing.
Honestly, I'm happy for Baker. I think he gets a deal in Tampa and stays with them.
100%. At least he should. They would be stupid.
At least they should. They would be stupid,
especially after his last game.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, that kind of wraps up our little playoff predictions.
Yeah, that's it for the playoffs for right
So,
now.
want to jump into what does that last Chiefs Miami game mean for the NFL in the future with streaming service games where you have to pay?
I think it's absolutely stupid, especially in the playoffs. Don't do that in the playoffs. Don't do it in the regular season. But the problem with that is money. NFL's getting money out of that. I bet you Peacock gave them so much money. Here's what we're going to give you to
Peacock
have
gave them
so many games.
$110 million.
Did they really? You had the numbers. I was wondering. I forgot to look it up. Yeah. For how many games, though? What's the butt in that? You know what I'm saying?
$110 million for...
I bet you it has to be... I bet you it's more towards playoff games because they're not going to do that.
Oh.
They could do it in the regular season, a primetime game. But that's just stupid in my opinion. You're going to lose viewers.
$110 million for the rights for 13 NFL playoff games. So that's 13 more games you're going to have to pay for.
13?
At least.
Over 13. Over how many years, though?
Probably, let me see this.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
But like,
maybe they get to choose it. I'm not sure. Right to
this.
Oh, okay. They paid $110 million for the rights to air one of the coveted 13 NFL games. I read it wrong. They paid $110 million for just that Chiefs game. They're one of the coveted 13.
No, they didn't. They did not. They did not because the Bucks Lions game, it says NBC and Peacock on it. So does that mean we're getting on NBC, and then whoever has Peacock can watch it on Peacock, or am I not seeing this game? Because I think it's stupid.
Well,
I'm not personally. I'm not running to go buy a Peacock subscription.
No, absolutely not. Well, here the Wall Street Journal says NBC Universal paid, which is they own Peacock, paid $110 million for the rights to air one of the coveted 13 NFL games, the wild card matchups. Maybe they're paying again. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I would keep it as just one in the wild card. Don't expand on that. Obviously, there's other games to watch, but that's so stupid, in my opinion. And then you got Mike Tirico. Oh, Peacock, great for this. Peacock, oh that.
No.
Oh my God, brown nose and Peacock the whole game. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh my, I miss Al Michaels in that booth.
No, oh my God.
Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Yep.
Best
booth
booth guys you could have.
That Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl with those two in the booth.
Oh my God.
Freaking awesome.
That was really good.
But yeah, most streamed US event ever.
Was the Peacock?
Was that last game.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Because
then they're 23 million viewers across NFL Plus, Peacock, and the NBC affiliates.
We're gonna get a petition for that. That's not happening. I don't like that.
All right. Well, you're hearing it here first on Sugar Talk.
On Sugar Talk.
We're all gonna start a petition to not have to pay extra for all these damn NFL games.
Yeah, forget that. That's
starting here.
Opinion. I don't like it. I never will. That's it. Done. That aggravates me. It really does. Just stupid. It's all about money. It's a money grab. That's all that is. You know, because people are stupid. People will go pay for that.
I mean, think about the revenue generated from it. So there are 23 million viewers, right? Let's say there are already what? What are you thinking? 4 or 5 million current Peacock subscribers that watch that? Because they don't have a huge streaming base. It's a hard number to gauge.
It's a hard number to pick. I really don't know their streaming numbers.
Let's just say they made. Let's say, so what's a $6 subscription? Say they made $4 on the average American household.
They definitely made money off that deal.
That would be. Sure. Yeah, that'd be like, what's that? $98,000, $98 million.
Probably,
but if they paid, I just don't know what the contract they signed because it says for one game.
They're not going to. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. You're never.
I wish they did.
110 million for one game. I don't think one game's worth that much. There's more to that. There's more to that we won't know.
To make the playoff game a Peacock exclusive.
It's so stupid. I can't.
But also, I say $4 for the Imagine American, but they also had a what's it called? A yearly membership option. So
yeah, there's multiple options. dabbled in it before.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I don't like that. And it's only going to get worse.
No, absolutely. It's
That
just
started
Netflix is
in
going to
the
start to buy games.
yeah, Hulu. Well, maybe not Hulu, but that's like the MLB. Not to get off topic, but sometimes on Friday nights there's a game only on Apple TV. You can't get anywhere else in the MLB. It's like Friday Night Lights on Apple TV. It's only going to get worse because, like I said, it's all a money grab. They make
think about it like
deals.
this. How much do you watch other than for sports? Cable TV. Cable is just being completely cut out of every household.
I haven't had cable in probably more than 10 years. Yep. My dad shut cable off a long time ago.
So think about it like this. In the future, I mean, all of these games are going to be on streaming services.
Yeah.
But I think making them accessible for the average American is I feel like it's crucial. I mean, that's just what our society is now. We love our football. It's Americans.
But do you see what CBS and Paramount Plus are doing? They're on both. That's what you should do. Put it on NBC and put it on Peacock. That's exactly what CBS and Paramount Plus are doing. And that's
NBC
totally fine.
did that, but only for Green Bay and Kansas City areas, I think.
What are you talking about?
I think that, what's it called? They had, because the NBC affiliates in Green Bay, Kansas City and Miami is what I meant to say.
Oh, yeah, because that's local television.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
And I don't know. It's absolutely going to go there in the future.
Listen, I didn't have to watch the game. I watched the highlights. So I got enough. I analyzed enough what I needed to see.
Actually, I forgot I had an NFL Plus subscription that was still active. So that worked out in my favor.
I just canceled mine. I just canceled mine. I did not. I could have.
I did now because I didn't know I was still paying for it, which is nice.
It's not bad for in the season. I turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Now you don't need it because the playoffs are all on TV except for that one game.
Well, except for that game. But you said the next game's on Peacock too?
Yeah, the Lions-Bucks, it says Peacock, but it also says NBC. So I'm curious to see what they do there because that's a divisional rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's curious to see.
You can't make that only accessible.
No, you can't.
You can't do it.
You can't. No.
I think
what's next? Super Bowl is going to be only on Peacock. I have to get a Peacock subscription to watch the Super Bowl. But we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be interesting. I think it's only going to get worse, but we'll see with that game on Sunday. The Bucs Lions.
This is a pretty grand scale question here, but what do you think? Because it inevitably is going to come to only streaming services.
Eventually.
What's the solution going to be with that? Are people going to have to buy every single different streaming platform? Or?
No, I think you just go right for NFL Plus.
Maybe they'll cut that out too. Once these streaming services buy the right to it.
NFL's making a lot of money off NFL Plus. They just added Red Zone to it, all that stuff. Go right for NFL Plus. You're fine.
Yep.
That's what I would do. $1 $15 a month bill. Call it a day.
Yeah, there's got to be something centralized.
Yeah. Well, they're never going to take stuff off national television like that. They're not. They'll lose so much money. It's never going to be. I don't think it's ever going to be only streaming platforms. The NFL will lose so many views, so much money. They know not to do that. They'd be stupid to do that. They really would.
I only could see it just because I know you don't have cable. We're cutting out cable here because it's a stupid amount of money.
Oh, it's crazy. It's terrible. It's not worth it too. There's not good channels. There's nothing good on TV anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's all streaming. So that's why I find it hard that they're gonna have.
Why do you need cable when you can go on YouTube and watch us?
Exactly.
Right.
YouTube,
think about that.
Spotify.
Exactly.
Exactly.
There's no need for cable. You got us.
You don't even really need to watch the games. I feel like our coverage is just so incredible. You know.
Exactly. We'll be the dummies who pay. We'll analyze for you. Come here, subscribe, and we'll help you out. Exactly. That's all you need.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah, but it's gonna. I think the NFL will end up regretting that decision if they take it further.
Yep, me too. It's either gonna be it won't be the death of the sport, but could be a downfall for the NFL.
You could lose a lot of views. You
Yeah.
could. A lot of views and money. People don't like that.
But yeah, hopefully it's not for the far future, but it looks like it's starting to ramp up.
No, I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll go too far with it. I
I
don't.
hope not. Well, yeah, I think those are our topics for the day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think we touched upon everything for this episode. Obviously, we have a lot more to come in the future. You know,
Oh yeah,
off
a lot of
season.
stuff coming.
Off season's a little over a month away. Free
Yep.
agency.
And don't forget, we got that
huge.
draft coming up. That's gonna be
Draft,
fun to talk
yes,
about. We got a
yes.
lot of stuff.
Football is a year-round sport, in my opinion. It really is.
100%.
There's so much stuff. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that's all for today.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in to Sugar Talk.
Yes. See you next week.
Next Friday.